We honor and we hail all the warrior ancestors who created art for our people. Liberation, revolutionary warrior art. And as we call on those ancestors, we affirm that it is our responsibility as the lions and the lionesses telling our own tale. More importantly, to create our own art that tells our own story. So we honor the warrior artists of this time, and we affirm and we declare as African people that when we see our artists in this time, we have a duty and a responsibility to support them, to honor them, to hail them up. So fools like this particular devil will never ever ever have the chance and the authority to do what they're doing. We affirm that and we declare that today, kings and queens.
We're on a schedule. So what I'm going to say to you is this. What you do today is not for me, it's not for you, it's for your children. Good. It is to make sure that your children can walk in this country where they own. We're not visitors.
We own it.
Your children need to be able to walk with their heads high in any forum, on any street, in any borough, in any part of this country, in fact, in any part of the world.
That's right.
Africa, let it be our home, but the rest of the world is our backyard.
See ya.
Make no mistake, we are true owners of the world, and we will not be limited by this or any other organization.
14, and they still think it's okay to have black people caged. The City of London labels it art, claims it will be an education, as if we need a lesson of race discrimination, as if racists will change their minds by the reenactment. All this serves to do is humiliate us for their enjoyment, while subjecting us to more oppression. This isn't art, this is degradation. If they want to challenge racism for real, stop subjecting us to this nightmare ordeal. Stop killing our children, end deprivation. Tackle the root causes of underrepresentation. We will not be silenced by oppression. But don't get it twisted, that isn't aggression. It's called strength and determination as we strive each day for full emancipation. Whilst our babies are murdered, we won't stand back until people recognise that it's not a crime to be black.
But we come here today to say to Brett Bailey, you don't see an angry mob yet. Because we're a disciplined people. And it's the old racism that is determined and delineated us as an angry mob. And then he said we're calling for a ban. And that was undemocratic in a democratic society. Well, we may be in a first-class democracy, but we still remain third-class citizens as a consequence of racism, such as we've seen here. Barbican, shame on you! No more humans! Barbican, shame on you! No more humans!
If something is made ill, why swallow it? Don't accept it, renounce it, and go back to before the chattel, the division and genocide, before the white Jesus, before the crusades and the foreign religions that came with priests and swords. Discover the hidden world, because history is self-serving, self-fulfilling. Look in the armies, look in the places filled with the broken, the destitute, the trampled on, the us but not them. Look and see what happens when you become apathetic, when revenge is just for radicals, when you believe the story they tell you, when your only weapon is a gun, when your only hope is a fantasy, when your knowledge is obsolete, when your woman is a bitch, when your brother is a threat, and your oppressor is your master. You will stand at your ideal, don't ask for mercy, it won't be given. Knock it off, leave it there, instead it's done the damage, concentrated the sickness, it doesn't work.
If artists like Mr. Bailey really want to be provocative and create discussion around the subjects of European colonialism and genocide and white supremacy, I could think of some more interesting places they can start. Barbican, giving us an exhibition with live white people used as dummies to pose as the many thousands of slave masters our ancestors majestically had to or perhaps they would consider revising the myth of Gandhi's uncontested preeminence in the Indian independence struggle and instead erect monuments to Bhagat Singh, Queen Rani and others who used the colonizer's favourite tool, violence of course, against him to get our freedom. Or to bring the point back to Mr. Bailey, a white South African, directly, why not make art of the dead and mutilated white bodies that Africans had to kill in anti-colonial struggles that gained the limited monicums of independence that set colonial African states have today? In closing, how liberating would it be, especially for white people, to be forced to so viscerally engage with the reality that the freedoms we black and brown people have today did not come from Abraham Lincoln or William Wilberforce or World War II, but rather from the blood that our own ancestors courageously shed, fighting Europeans who may have had greater military might and our own domestic oppressors and collaborators. We did not, contrary to Hollywood, sit around waiting for white saviors.
Brothers and sisters, today we represent the soul of our ancestors.
That's right.
And as those who are the representatives of our ancestors, we must be the ones to determine how our ancestors' legacy is portrayed. And we want to say to the Barbican, we want to say to all of those concerned that we're not pleased with the way how you desire to continue to misrepresent the souls and the legacy of our ancestors. And we will no longer stand by, sit by, walk by, and allow you to degrade our ancestors and their legacies, because our ancestors today live through us. So it's incumbent upon those of us who are here to make sure that you accept the responsibility to represent the legacy of your ancestors, because your ancestors are not slaves.
That's right.
Your ancestors are kings and queens and representatives of the divine supreme being who went through a Holocaust in this Western hemisphere that was divinely foretold in the scriptures that we would suffer for 400 years at the hands of those who would have no respect for our humanity. But God himself said in the book of Genesis that after that 400-year period would be served, that he, God Almighty, would intervene in our affairs and he would judge that nation whom our ancestors would serve. And we would come out from those lands with great substance. The great substance, brothers and sisters, that we must come out of these lands with is our minds intact. And we can only come out with our minds intact if we represent our ancestry the way how they desire to be represented. And they don't desire to be represented chained, sitting on beds for French soldiers to rape at will. What we should be discussing is what kind of mind, what kind of man has to chain a woman to a bed for sexual gratification. How can a man be aroused by a woman with chains on, who you desire to just give food to feed her family? We must put on trial today those who have subjected our ancestors to the barbarism, to the Holocaust that they suffered. All what is desired to be exhibited in this building must be used as evidence for us against these people who have enslaved our ancestors. This is evidence, brothers and sisters, and they are bearing witness to the fact that they are responsible for the dehumanization of a people. And to this day, they have not given us an insincere apology. So we must demand that not only that they apologize for their evil, but they pay reparations and repair the damage that was done of robbing us of our names, our language, our culture, our religion and our God. But know for a surety, brothers and sisters, that there is a mighty God unseen, that if they do not desire and do not give justice in a short period of time that has been left for them to give justice, then God Almighty will use the forces of nature to country to her knees. So brothers and sisters, thank you for allowing me to share these words, but I want to bring forth Sister Sara Myers, a sister who stood up and said this must not take place. And because she stood up, over 20,000 names have been signed under petition. And if this is about freedom of speech, we want the United Kingdom, or the United Kingdom government, to allow the unjust ban on the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan to be lifted so that we can hear from the greatest revolutionary in our time. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
You know, nothing really speaks more than passion when our people speak. And this is why they think we're angry. Well, let me tell you something.